All right, hey, it's Matt here from Henry Shine. Just giving you hopefully 10 minutes of troubleshooting issues with 3D printing. Obviously we're going to base this one on the Asiga printer. But the first issue and that I hear and we see with the Asiga printer is approach fail. So approach fail cannot reach destination in 300 seconds. Pretty much what happens is you've got 4 position encoders in here that register that the build platform is not parallel to the glass when it pushes down, right? So the most common occurrence that creates this is you've got debris in the resin. So the first thing that you do if you get an approach fail error is you come in. Now different Asigas have different workflows, but essentially in here in the Max 2 we go tools and we go clean material tray and we hit start. Make sure that lid's closed. Essentially what's going to happen is we're going to cure the bottom layer of this tank and then peel that resin out. Yeah. So if you're on the original Max, then obviously I believe you go to control LED and you turn it on for 30 seconds and hit stop, and do that yourself manually. On the Max 2 it just does it for 30 seconds. So now keep in mind that if you still get, after doing this, and you still get that approach fail error 300 seconds, then what I would suggest to do is have like a filter or something like that basically we drain the resin back into here, yeah, through a sieve, because clearly, even though we've cured the bottom layer, if there's resin still floating around, then obviously the resin that's floating around is also now getting in the road. So if you do this once, still does it, then filter the resin back into the bottle. Right. So if you've got clean gloves to do this particular step, so after we've done our cure, I take the build platform off, take the resin out, essentially using a clean glove, making sure it's a clean glove. I put it one hand under the corner and I use the other hand, and I try and get my fingernail under the edge while I'm pushing up from the bottom. And then once I've kind of got that, then obviously, hopefully the debris will come out of that. Yeah. Now, I'll just put this in the bin for the time being. In regards to once that's done, then obviously we'll be able to keep on printing. Another problem that can happen is if stuff isn't sticking to this build platform. Yeah. So if stuff doesn't stick to the build platform, if only half of an object sticks, generally it's because of the calibration. But the things that you can do to check to make sure that everything's okay. So I'll just pull this resin out. So we've cleaned our resin. Let's say we've filtered it. We've done the curing of the vat. I'm going to grab our little scraper and I'm going to basically just scrape along the glass like this to make sure that we don't have any debris on that glass. Yeah. So if you've got debris on the glass, it will also give that approach fail error. If you've got some isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel, then you can also just give it a bit of a squirt, give it a clean. Yeah. So you make sure that's all clean. If we also want to make sure that this doesn't have anything stuck on it, you can do that to that and make sure this is also clean. So that's another one. So if we want to just confirm that this hasn't been dropped, if you've got a few dents around the corner, if you put this on that glass plate and you push it down and there's absolutely no rocks, then we know that the build platform's not bent. But obviously if this is rocking, then maybe someone's dropped a build platform and it's bent in the corner, right? So to check your calibration, to make sure our calibration is good, we can, on the newer Asiga, so you can go into settings, hardware, smart position encoders, and you can also just click on position encoders, zero it off, and if we just bring the platform all the way down, this is without even needing to calibration. You can follow the Asiga video to do the calibration. I'm not going to take you through that today, but if we just pull it down, right, we should be able to see that that dot stays roughly in the middle, hopefully. That's fine. I'll zero it off. That's fine. And what I do is I grab a piece of paper, and with this piece of paper, I just make sure that I can't get the paper in every corner, right? So if the paper doesn't slide in on any of those 4 corners, then I know that the calibration is fine. It's not the calibration. So we don't have to do it now. Now, this little green dot, we don't have, you know, obviously any issues on the Max 2s, but on the original Maxes, the connection and the position encoders, sometimes, like if you've got the connection, sometimes like a USB stick needs to just come out or in. But essentially, if you've got any vibrations or the position encoders are giving feedback that there's vibration, it will also give you a 300 cannot approach, what's it called? Approach fail error in 300 seconds. So yeah, so pretty much, well, we'll just take this back up again. One other thing that I always do for troubleshooting as well, so we've checked the glass, we've checked the platform's level, we've filtered out the resin, right? So all of these are checked. The next thing that you need to make sure that you're doing, and reason why you can have misprints in certain parts of the platform, is when we're printing on fast print mode, you need to make sure that the resin level in the vat is filled up to the top of the word level. So you usually have the words resin, level, and then a line. But if you're printing on fast print mode, it's a bit hard to make out there. I'll try and get a UV light in behind it. But essentially, you've got 2 words in the back. See the word resin there? And I've filled it up just to the top of the word level. Hopefully I'm not puring that. And essentially, when you're printing on fast print mode, it needs to be filled up to that level. If you're getting below that, the actual line, and you're printing on fast print mode, then you can run into there not being enough resin in there to flow back down for your next print. So that's pretty much all, most of your troubleshooting things. The only other thing that you can really check if you really wanted to, if you go to, on the new one, projector and show focus, and make sure you wear your cool glasses. Essentially, if you go in there and you can, on the, there we go, sorry, it's that particular one. So what happens there on your screen, you actually do get an image that gets shot up, and if you have the focus plate on there, I don't have the focus plate right now. Here's the focus plate. So if you put this focus plate on, leave it in its plastic here. Oh no, it's already been taken out. So if you put that focus plate on there, and then if you hit start, you know, that's us checking the LED. And if you go to show focus and then hit start, then you get your focus image. So if there's any pixels out of place there, then obviously you know that you've got an issue with the projector. But essentially, you know, if you're making sure that you're doing all that, making sure your plate's level, making sure the glass is clean, making sure that your resin is filtered and everything done there, then essentially that's all your troubleshooting steps that you need to do on the resin. And then pretty much all that is going to fix, if you just do all of those steps, that's going to fix 99% of the problems regarding 3D printing. You know, very rarely on the Asiga will you need to play around with profiles, you know, in terms of support structures and contact widths. But if you're finding that you're starting to get supports that are printing and not the object, then you need to go into the settings and you need to increase your contact width from whatever width it is, up it like by 0.3, just to thicken up the contact point, and then that should be that problem solved. Cool, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that fixes most of the problems out there, and it will be a nice quick, hopefully 7 to 10 minute video that you can just go through those troubleshooting steps, and then that will fix the problems. Cool, thank you, bye.